Hey guys, alright, today will be another video, and today's topic will be the comparison between the new Pro Keratin Complex Ellips Hair Vitamin and versus the old version, which I really like. So they actually have a name for it. It's called the Pro Keratin Complex series, and then they also have the Natural series. So the older version one would be considered as a natural version series. The old, and this is the new. Alright, so what I did, if you can see in the montage later, is I applied it, the old version here and then the new version here, to see if there was any differences between these two that I can actually tell, or if the formulation was like, you know, any different, if it was any better, and which one I liked more. Alright, so let's get on with the application. Hey guys, alright, so it's the next day and I've already woken up and dressed up and stuff like that. So I actually made my hair into 2 braids so that I won't mix up the hair where I'm tying it. So this is not usual for me because I don't really like to tie them in braids per se. So let's unravel them. Okay, so if you guys know, this is one of my holy grails. So the reason why I liked it is because it does maintain my frizz temporarily for a short while, because it's one of the quick fixes that I can actually bring along. The handy dandy thing is that it's in the mini blisters like this, and this actually manages to actually, and I'm able to actually put this into a small little container and put it into my bag as I go along. So as and when I need to reapply or put it on, I will just take one and then reapply. The handy thing that, you know, it comes in also this kind of travel pack, which is very useful if you're going overseas to travel, or even let's say you're just going out and you need this. But usually I'll just buy the bigger bottle and I'll put it inside a little container to bring with me everywhere. Okay, so let's compare between these two, old and new. If you can see, the first visual difference is actually the packaging. The Pro Keratin Complex has the black packaging outside, which is more sleek and more chic versus this. And the blisters itself, if you can see inside the packaging, the blisters for the old formulation is more of a transparent kind of blister versus the new version, which is actually a more opaque version. If you can tell that if there's any difference in my hair, then good for you, because it's very minimal. I wouldn't say it's a very drastic difference. I say it's a minimal difference. Why? Because the old version made my curls a little bit more defined, more prominent, I would say. But then the one with the Pro Keratin Complex made my curls a little bit more relaxed, but there was just tiny bit. In terms of absorption, absorption. Alright, so in terms of absorption, the old version actually took a little bit longer to absorb into the hair versus the new version. When I actually applied it, it was actually starting to absorb quickly already, so I didn't have to work a little bit longer to actually work the product into my hair. In terms of scent wise, that is the most prominent difference that I can tell between these two. The older version having a more soapier kind of scent for both the smooth and shiny as well as the shiny black. So the older version had more of a soapy, fresh soapy kind of scent versus the new version, which has more like a slight citrusy kind of scent. For the smooth and shiny, it smells a little bit more grapefruit kind of infused. The shiny black one has a more, it's not nutty, it's kind of a citrusy kind of nutty kind of smell. It's very hard to place, but it just smells like a nut oil or something like that. That one is more pungent than this one, so if you want something a little bit more less pungent, you can go for the smooth and shiny one. Okay, another difference between, let's say, these two, especially the smooth and shiny versus the new smooth and shiny with Pro Keratin Complex, is the ingredients inside. So I'll list down the ingredients below, but if you don't want to read that, I'll actually tell you the difference between this is, of course, this one has Pro Keratin Complex inside, which is the protein-based ingredient, but the oil inside here is actually different. Apart from the aloe vera oil, which is same in both, this one uses argan oil, this one uses jojoba oil. So there's a difference in that. For the shiny black one, it's not in terms of the candlenut oil. That one's the candlenut oil, and aloe vera I think is the same. It's just the wheat protein, and also I think the fragrance might be a little bit different. So the silicone base as well as the wheat protein is inside. That is the one that is different for shiny black. But for this one, the oil inside, this one is argan, this one is jojoba oil. So I will talk about this Pro Keratin series. The Pro Keratin series, I think they have a few. I received 3 versions of it: the shiny black, the smooth and shiny, as well as the hair repair. So I didn't try the hair repair because I did not try the old one. I only tried the smooth and shiny as well as the shiny black. So these are the two that I actually tried to compare. So I would give like more an accurate comparison between the two. Okay. So during the application, what I found was that the side with the Pro Keratin was actually slightly more bouncier, even after the serum has dried down and when it was drying down. It dried much more quicker for this one, but the shiny black version, actually it was relatively the same. It did not have like a advantage of drying quicker or not. So if you were to look for something that dries equally as fast, you can try the shiny black if you have black hair. But if you have other colored hair or blonde hair or brunette hair, you can give the other one a try, because the shiny black one is formulated especially for black hair. So the Pro Keratin Complex is made out of the wheat protein, which actually increases the hydration in your hair, the elasticity, and also it retains moisture. The hair was evenly hydrated, and it felt actually slightly more smoother because of that even hydration and even application. If you were to have limp hair, I would see that this Pro Keratin Complex version will actually do wonders for you, especially to give you that really bounce kind of feel back into your hair versus the Natural Series. Because the Natural Series, it did not have that bounce to it versus the Pro Keratin Complex, which was quite evident when I actually used the shiny black one. In terms of the smooth and shiny, it was not as much, it's not as prominent as the shiny black one. The shiny black one that was applied on over at this side in that previous montage, it actually weighed a little bit more heavier in terms of, let's say if you were to scrunch it up, it weighed a little bit more heavier than here, because this one had like a slight bounce to it, which was really something that was kind of fascinating to me, because I don't deal with like keratin complex and keratin treatments and stuff. Like I hardly ever use keratin treatment during my hair care review. So to know that there's a protein complex inside that actually gives you the bounce in your hair was kind of like fascinating. If you're thinking that the keratin would straighten out your hair, no, don't worry. If you have curly hair, it will not straighten your hair. The curls will still be curly, it's just more hydrated. If you guys are wondering, you know, what's the frizz control like? If I were to tell you between the damp hair application and the dry hair application, I think it works both the same, except for when you're applying it onto wet hair, you don't actually have to reapply it onto dry hair. You can if you want to, for the added shine and added smoothness if you like. But it's not necessary, because once it dries, it actually dries down and the hair will already become smooth and shiny. But if you apply it onto dry hair, it will take a slightly longer period of time for you to actually get that smooth and shiny feel, which I took a few hours to actually get that smooth and shiny feel. So for the juice box rating, what I would give this particular product rating would be moisturizing effect. It will be 4 out of 5 because it does moisturize the hair. And mind you, this juice box rating is only for the Pro Keratin Complex. If you want to see my Holy Grail serum for the Natural Series, I'll link it up in the eye up above. Alright, so moisturizing would be 4 out of 5. Affordability, this one is definitely a 4 out of 5 as well. It's probably as cheap as the Natural Series, and you probably can get it cheaper at those beauty warehouse and stuff like that. Alright, endurance in humidity, I would give this a 3.75 out of 5 because frizz control wise, it does not manage to have that longevity or prolonged frizz control, but it does give you a very good quick fix on the go if you want something that just controls frizz as and when you like, you know, during application. Efficacy wise, this one will receive 4 out of 5 juice boxes, and the total average would be 3.93 out of 5, so it's around about 4 out of 5. So whichever you guys choose, I think there won't be any major differences in between the two formulation. You can either choose the one with the Pro Keratin Complex, or you can either choose it with the older version. I'm not sure if they'll replace it completely to the Pro Keratin Complex, but if you wouldn't want the Pro Keratin Complex one, you can go for the older version. Okay, so which one I prefer more? Actually, I can't tell yet because I haven't tried the Pro Keratin one for a long period of time. I'm pretty sure in the long run, the Pro Keratin one will actually give like a burst of, let's say if I have more breakages or anything, I can actually apply it to my hair and it will improve my hair condition even further. So in the long run, I'm pretty sure the Pro Keratin has its own benefits versus the old version, which also has its own benefits, which I really like as well. So yeah, if you guys do like this review, do like, subscribe, and comment down below if you have anything that you want me to try. Okay, just a shout out, if you go over to my Instagram, you can actually join a giveaway. For this Ellips hair care set, I'm giving away 2 sets to one of you, to you and your friend, to actually receive this hair care of hair masks and hair serums for you to give it a try.
Okay, let's do this fucking shit.